a reporter wrote an article about me that was on the front page of our big paper that said, Burt enjoys success off the court as a top motivator. Okay, so it was like a main article, and it told how many books I had written and what my real skill set was. Well, that people started to change seeing me as a basketball coach to this guy who really knows how to motivate people. And that changed everything because people started going to come speak. Right. Everything started with speaking. Everything. Wow. Every major contract I signed, every major deal I signed, it all started with somebody in an audience seeing me speak.
Wow. So how vital was it for a person to have that competitive intelligence and that greatness when you're speaking? Because here you are, you get invited, they're inspired. So how did that, like I said, like when they're speaking, they're probably feeling like, oh my gosh, he's a champion coach, and he's competitive. And so obviously those two are going hand to hand. So how can that person, like I'm repeating myself, have that competitiveness?
Well, competitive intelligence is a term that I put together because there's really not a concept called competitive intelligence. There's IQ and spiritual intelligence and emotional intelligence, but to me, competitive intelligence is where you're combining your knowledge, skill, desire, confidence, that would be body, mind, heart, and spirit, and you have an intelligence of knowing how to win, of knowing how to produce. So when I would go speak, I would kind of activate that drive in people, and they would go, man, I need to play at a bigger level. See, they would hear me speak and go, you know what, I need a coach. I got more potential. I need to be playing at a higher level. I need to do something with this guy, right? And so the competitive intelligence wasn't activated that day. The drive was activated. The competitive intelligence came after I coached these people for 6 months to a year or 5 years. And over a period of time, just like I coached the players, I was kind of manufacturing their greatness over a cycle of time. That's my skill set.
So you're coaching. And just like someone spoke into your life, is there a particular person that that really captivated you, that you're like, I'm going to do what this person did to me so many years ago? So with that said, you're speaking greatness to a person. So do you have a person whom you would consider to be a greatest person in the world?
For me, that's an easy one. It was Dr. Stephen Covey. Covey wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Principle-Centered Leadership, First Things First. When I was 18 years old, I went to a coaching clinic because that's what coaches did. We went and studied under other coaches that were great. And the coach I was studying under said, if you don't read another book this year, pick up a copy of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I go, okay, this is what this guy said to do. I went straight to the bookstore. I bought that book. It's very hard to read at 18. It's very deep, okay? And so I'm reading this book, and I'm like, all right, these are the habits of the top people in the world. I'm going to start teaching my players these habits. Okay. So from 18 to 25, that was who I studied under. Okay. And so he had a very deep methodology. So it was body, mind, heart, and spirit, whole person, how to find your voice, how to inspire other people to find their voice. That really changed my life because even to this day, it's the foundation for how I coach people.
Did you guys are still friends, correct?
Covey was much older than me. He passed away at 79 years old, but he was a mentor to really probably millions of people. His book sold millions of copies.
And how long, like you said, the book was so deep. How long did it take you to read it?
A bunch. It took me a long time, especially at 18. It's just, I would tell people, you got to read this book, it'll change your life. And they would come back and say, it's so hard to read. And I was like, I know, but it's so deep and it's rich. And, it's not, when you write books like I do, to me, there's books that are like cotton candy. It's like, that's a simple book to read. When you study under someone like Covey, I guess it makes me a little snobbish because he was just so much deeper than everybody else. In a good way. That's just some people are John Maxwell people, some people are Rick Warren people, some people are so and so people, right? Covey was my guy. That's who impacted me at that time of my life.
So there are times when a person's greatness becomes weak or lost in the middle of continuing their life. Okay. So with that, how do people retrieve their greatness or find their loss, and greatness in them.
People operate in cycles. They're rejuvenated, which means to make young again. They're fresh, they're dynamic, they're excited, they're enthusiastic, they're curious. And then they operate in mechanical,
Right.
going through the motions. They're tired, but they're fighting through it, right? Then they reach burnout, which is loss of all joy or passion for something.
Right.
What has to happen is that drive inside of them, which is what the new book is about, Flip the Switch, is to reactivate that drive, okay?
Okay.
And there's certain things that reactivate that drive. Competition can reactivate it. Fear can reactivate it. Many times exposure to something or somebody can reactivate that drive. So what we're trying to do is reactivate a drive inside of a person that maybe has gone dormant, or it's flickering, or they've lost it. They're tired, they're burned out, they're exhausted. And that's really what's happening with a lot of people today. I mean, studies show 87% of people live their entire lives, never find their purpose. Most people I talk to cannot tell me their talents. They don't know what problem they want to solve in the world. They're going through the motions, and they're tired and they're exhausted, and they have a deeper potential, but they don't know how to activate that potential.
Is there a secret to like what you say or do, or is it a known secret?
Yeah.
So what?
My gift is probably more like an apostolic gift.
Okay.
Which is to reach inside of a person and pull out something in them, and then simultaneously inspire them to go do that for other people. But I am a coach, so I codify concepts. I put them into formulas, and then I break big concepts down into simple things that they can do. So it's the way I package a concept that gets them to go, you know what, I do have more potential. And then I give them a structure to manifest that potential.
Now, is it when you coach? You say you coach businesses. Do you also go to schools to kind of give that same impact, just like you do with businesses, or do you, it's just you just do strictly businesses?
No, we have a division called Success School, and
Okay.
we teach 10 to 17-year-olds, 17 to 22-year-olds, the habits of the top performers in the world.
Oh, okay.
So that's like its own division within my company. I do have a heart for children and kids.
Right.
And so being a coach, I saw what they didn't get taught many times that I am now seeing later on in life when they don't learn it early in life. So we developed a whole division called Success School.
Did your strategy or approach and message of somehow change as we are in the digital world? Because we just touched brief a little bit back in the day. It was all newspapers.
Yep.
So now we're in the digital world. So how is your business thriving in this business of digital? At the same time, with the adult and kids.
Yep.
So can you elaborate on that?
Well, I think just, now I coach people weekly via Zoom, right? I mean, people from all over the world can tune in. We have an international audience. We sell to people all over the world. So I think going digital, you can be connected to people. They can watch you every day and feel like they know you. So I do morning videos. They can follow me on all the social media. So when I meet people or I'm there in person, they feel like they already know me, right?
Right.
There's more of a connection. And that's really what digital has allowed us to do. Now, do I always enjoy it? I actually prefer live any day over digital. Digital exhausts me sometimes because I'm such a live person, right? I have an energy and I'm a coach and I want to coach people. Now, a big virtual event, the way we do virtual events today, where I can see all of the audience members, I can somewhat get their energy back to me because that feedback back to a coach, I'm used to having players and I get immediate feedback. They perform, I can watch, I can give them feedback, and so that's why the live experience is real important to me.
I'm assuming it's really hard to, you're on Zoom and you're trying to reach out to somebody. Is it really hard to kind of get that rawness out of them, when they're watching you?
Well, the emotion, it's more emotionally exhausting because you're having to bring, you can't really tell how engaged they are sometimes virtually. So that you have to bring up a lot of energy. Whereas if you're right there in a room with people, you can tell. You can feel the attitude of their posture. You can say, are they engaged? Are they not engaged? Are they getting it? Are they not getting it? So there is a different energy level. So if I did 6 Zooms in a day, right, I'd be just as exhausted doing 6 Zooms as if I went and did 3 speaking engagements.
Oh my gosh, wow. So And then on a daily basis, how many Zooms do you do? And then how many speaking engagements do you do on a weekly basis?
I typically do about 150 speaking engagements live per year, probably 3 to 7 Zooms per day. And, but I operate like an artist or athlete or entertainer, so I have lighter days that I rest, I practice, and I perform.
What type of people come to you? Like I know we talked about business, but do athletes come to you?
Sometimes.
Do singers, songwriters?
Yep.
And have you done the most famous people and not so famous people?
Yeah, all of those people. When you write a book like Flip the Switch, some people say, I need to reactivate my drive. I've been successful, I'm burned out, I'm exhausted. Can I, right? Like I need to coach with you. So I've coached everything from artists, athletes, business people, people just trying to get started. It's just really people who are hungry to get better.
Now, speaking, you mentioned your book.
Yep.
Like Flip the Switch. Tell us a little bit more in depth of what the book is about, and also what could they get out of it that once they read this book?
The book teaches you how to activate a drive inside of you to want to pursue a bigger future.
Right.
So think of inspiration as breathing life into a person. Think of motivation as to move. Think of activation to initiate. Okay? And much of my life has been really activating a drive to do something even when I didn't feel like it. The artist doesn't always feel like singing the songs.
Right.
The football player doesn't feel like getting hit that hard on Sunday.
Right.
Right? Pros don't always feel like doing something, but they've learned how to fight through their feelings to play at a higher level. So the book is really teaching you, how do you do that?
Right.
What happens tomorrow if you wake up and you don't feel like doing it? See, I argue in the book that you can know your purpose, but still not be motivated.
Right.
See, I can know my purpose. I'm supposed to coach people and not feel like coaching people tomorrow. Right? So what do I do then? So the book tells you this is how you activate your drive to pursue your potential.